Hello and welcome back to the channel. We've got another faction focus, and this time it is Tzeentch, the magic, changing of ways weird dude who causes all the fuckery absolutely everywhere. So this again is a general sort of overview. If people want something that's a bit more in depth, I will probably cover various bits, in a lot more depth over a few other videos. Please feel free to let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see, and I will certainly try and work something out. So yeah, I think that pretty much just covers everything. Let's just get the hell on with it. So the legendary lord that you can play as under Tzeentch, Kairos, Fate Weaver of the Oracles of Tzeentch. His faction effects are enemy reinforcement time prediction accuracy plus 100%, battle reinforcement time minus 50%, hero action success chance plus 15% for all characters. His own effects are that he can unlock unique items that can be used to customize his spell selection. Enemy hero action success chance is minus 50%. Ambush defense chance is plus 50% in his army. So he's very much based on magic. He's not really going to be based, on much else, because this is Tzeentch. We all know they like their magic and messing about with people. So let's have a look at his skills. So Kairos Fate Weaver's stats and skills. He's really not stacked up to be a melee lord or pretty much anything except focusing on his magic, which you would kind of expect from, a legendary lord of Tzeentch. He's not exactly known for his melee prowess. He has magical attacks and has armor-piercing damage on his weapon strength, which is quite useful, but again, isn't your main focus. Something that is quite interesting, though, is the fact that he has this little blue bar above his health. Now, all units in the Tzeentch roster have this. It is a magical barrier, which the enemy has to deplete before they can actually start doing damage to the unit's health. Once the units are removed out of combat, that barrier can replenish depending on how much health is left, so it will only ever replenish as much as the health they've got, if that makes sense. So say Kairos didn't take any damage and still had his 8,048 HP left, he would be able to regenerate a barrier for 8,048 HP, essentially. So you've basically got to try and kill Tzeentch's forces twice, which is just insane. Now, he starts with a spell of Pink Fire of Tzeentch, Blue Fire of Tzeentch, and Glean Magic. Everything else is pretty much the standard Chaos forces for passive abilities, so there's nothing really new there. His skills: Blue Tree is pretty much standard, Red Tree pretty much standard, and then you start getting into his magic trees, which this is going to be your main focus for his campaigns. Because let's be honest, you want to give him all the spells you can so he can hit everything with maximum potency and really, really shred your enemies to pieces. Because he really will shred them to pieces. He's easily the strongest magic caster in the game, and I don't think anyone even comes close to challenging him. So that's definitely how you want to be building. So the first thing that I want to touch on is something that's called Grimoires. The ancient dusty tomes that have got lots of information in. Tzeentch, well, not Tzeentch himself, but Kairos wants to collect them all, like some weird nerdy Pokemon master, because he can read at double the speed of everyone else. Now, the Grimoires are a form of currency, which is actually really important for Kairos because it ties into pretty much everything he does. Several of the mechanics that you're going to come across in this video are pretty much all funded by Grimoires. Now, you obtain Grimoires through several different means. You can use unholy manifestations to generate them. You can use certain buildings to generate them. You can gain them after winning battles. You can gain them by looting and settling in settlements and raising settlements and sacking settlements. So you can get a good abundance of them, but generally speaking, you're going to be spending an awful lot of them. So changing of the ways is the first big mechanic that we're going to look at. This is the mechanic that is Tzeentch's way of messing around with the old world. giving you the capability to influence and even force actions through diplomacy with your allies or your enemies. Actions you can carry out are reveal factions' intentions, reveal shroud, track army, force rebellion, halt faction, open gates, break alliance, give war coordination target, transfer settlement, and force war. All of these cost you grimoires, and the cost wildly changes depending on the faction and what it is you're actually asking them to do. This can be really interesting because it means you can essentially screw over an enemy without even having to do anything, by making them have to deal with a rebellion or have someone else who's rather large and powerful sitting next to them declare war on them instantly. Suddenly puts them on the back foot and they won't be able to defend against you. You can literally screw with everyone's campaign, and that's quite damn fun. So the second big mechanic for Kairos is the Winds of Magic manipulation. Now, this is the ability to manipulate the level of strength of the Winds of Magic in a province. By doing this, you'll be able to gain extra benefits from certain settlement buildings when you reach a certain criteria. An example of this is the Hidden Library. When the Winds of Magic are strong, you will gain an additional 2 Grimoires per turn. There's also the Thaumaturgic Load, I think that's how you say it, which when strong or higher provides an additional 10 growth per turn. There are 2 further buildings as well, the Web of Secrets giving you extra 50 income per turn, and a Convolution giving you +1 control with the correct conditions. The only drawback to this is that in order to increase the Winds of Magic strength in one province, you're going to have to take it away from another. Now, this isn't too bad, but it means you kind of have to balance out where you really want the benefits to be hitting the most, and discard the areas that you don't really care too much about. I suppose it's quite useful because you could easily focus on growing one area, then drop the Winds of Magic in that area to then grow the next area. It's the main use of it that I can see. Now, something that ties into the Winds of Magic is a stance that the forces of Tzeentch have, which is teleport. Now, it works very similar to using the underways and all the various, versions of it that were in Warhammer 2, where you're able to traverse the terrain and dodge mountains and, those kind of impassable bits. Now, the cost for this is it starts to drain on your Winds of Magic. So, of course, if you're trying to build an area up, you're going to drain 40 from the reserve of that area for you to pass through it. Now, there is a way of bypassing this, where you be able to gain a technology that is called Teleportation. It, makes sense. But in order to unlock that, you need to research 4 technologies first, and not just any technologies, they are 4 specific technologies. But it's really useful getting this because it will literally give you no cost to use teleportation afterwards, which is damn good. You can just zip around the map without having to worry about it draining any of your resources. And, that's really, really powerful for the campaign movement. And seeing as while we're here, we might as well look at the tech tree as well. It's split into 4 sections, and the first section is the only one you're going to have immediate access to. In order to reach the other sections, you're going to have to have gone through a specific, chain. Let's say locus of transmorphication. I can't read, it's too late, and I might have COVID. Never mind. Which will then lead on to the Way of Time, allowing you to gradually gain access to the next set. So it's a pretty standard tree. We've seen this many times over with many different factions over all 3 games. There are a total of 14 techs that are locked behind a grimoire cost. None of them are too bad. I do believe 100, maybe 200? No, it is 100. 100 is the highest cost. So you're never really going to be struggling to afford a tech. All of the technologies boost specific units, mainly the pink and blue horrors of Tzeentch, because you're probably going to be using an awful lot of them. It gives you a nice, healthy helping of campaign buffs, as well as giving you access to some magic for your entire armies, which is, again, damn useful given the fact you're going to be wanting to slap out magic as much as you possibly can. So, an overview. Generally speaking, the forces of Tzeentch are all about range and magic, which we've said several times, and we kind of expected it realistically. They've got pretty much no focus on melee whatsoever, and it's quite pleasing to see in a way, because actually they are just ridiculously fun as they are. It's a hell of a lot of fun bombarding things in warp fire. And do you know what? The campaign mechanics as well and everything for Tzeentch, as much as he isn't my favorite lord in, Chaos, they're damn fun. I have to admit that. Like, they are just really, really good. Being able to mess with people's campaign, wait for the right moment to then turn around and just engulf everything in flames is just glorious. It really, really is glorious. I highly recommend trying Tzeentch out if you are more of a ranged fan. I know there will be an awful lot of people who are, because, I mean, well, we've been so used to ranged as being the meta for Warhammer games. Let's face it, it's been like it ever since game 1. And actually, you know what, it doesn't seem too much different in this game either. How powerful Tzeentch is it's just ridiculous. It really, really is. But that's enough of me now, and I'm tired, and I'm going to try and get some rest before pumping out another video for you guys. Please do feel free to like and comment and subscribe. If there's anything you'd like to see, do let me know. I'll be back very soon. I reckon the next video after this will probably be Cathay, which I have the least knowledge of, so that's gonna be interesting. As always, I'll leave all the links below if you want to support the channel in any kind of way, or you want to catch a live stream, that kind of thing. And I will see you in the next one, my glorious kids.